Thank you so much, Sierra. I mean, if that last series was a banger, this one is going to be absolute cinema because just yesterday, Marks, both these teams fought through a grueling map 3 series just to be here. 24 hours later, they got to repeat that. And in my opinion, SRB were just a little bit more convincing with their wins.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, like you look at the matchups that happened yesterday, NRGA Academy up against the Nightblood Gaming that looked like they were just on fire, and NRGA Academy come out on top. And meanwhile, SRB, the team that we expected to be in that winners final, got relegated down here so much earlier than expected. And so both these teams showing that they've got a little bit left in the tank. Let's see how they're going to be taking this one to each other. My eye, once again, is going to be on Hayode, just like the desk highlighted. Has to be so good with those opening kills. Otherwise, SRB are just going to be having a field day.
I talked about those quick fights off of the Ange Omen, and what a quick surprise. I mean, the barriers just came down, and NRG are already swinging for the fences. Definitely profitable, though. You got 2 down from SRB from that.
And they take away Satellite and Smoke, 2 very instrumental players when it comes to the offense of Shopify Rebellion Black. Exer, though, has already made his way onto that C site, as the other 2 will be going through, but will be real procced out as soon as that tripwire goes down. Still should have enough utility to be able to get that spike down, but NRG Academy will go pretty quick onto this retake, I imagine. And I imagine they're going to be going in fast.
So many gaps too. SRB have to watch the B cross. They know their camera just got broken in mid. NRG, where is the sack coming from? SRB are assessing, frantic. Playing around the clock, though, is all they need to do. They'll reassemble towards the site where they can at least fend for each other. Watching the flank too is nature. Nothing left in the arsenal of SRB. NRG, the ball is in their court. Recon available. Paranoia as well. Time is running out. NRG just activating now. The kills are there, and it's all up to nature to just stop the defuse from happening. So many bullets are just left in the Sheriff, and it was so close to killing that diffuser, but no cigar. NRG with the pistol.
Yeah, you know for sure. Ren's just sitting on the spike. He's like, oh, I got pinged up. I hope I don't get another bullet over here. And unfortunately, just with how that Sheriff fires, it's going to be spraying all over the place, and just making sure to walk that through, body block any potential bullets just in case as well, and close out that kill as NRG, they get that first round. And honestly, pretty good executions on when they want to find and isolate those members of Shopify Rebellion Black. It came down to that initial fight just on that A side. It came down to that aggression. That NRG Academy just took the fight to them, used their utility, blinded them out, found that first pick. Lost Heyday in the process, but that's how it goes.
Just this angle too, NRG expecting to have cages up the way that X has already been lurking around C to get literally a bird's eye view. NRG just floor SRB. At least they're able to recover the spike from that situation. They'll leave maybe even Satellite behind. He's able to get out, and definitely not the first encounter SRB wanted to have in that moment. And we could talk about the information too between what Giza and Nature can provide. And Nature was so crucial to these SRB wins when it came to Split, when he was back on Sky. And not being able to see that first engagement happen early hurt SRB. Some good damage though from Giza. He's already getting pushed. He senses it. The orb's getting grabbed. Extra surprises him, but they're already weakened from the Sova util. And the Outlaw will be silenced as Satellite curveball ready, isolating the 1v1. Decent enough damage, but not enough to end it.
I think Satellite was fragmented so hard he wasn't even in his chair if I looked at that player cam correctly there. Just the chair cam online, but all good for NRG Academy. They're able to carry across 3 weapons into this next round. Notably, that Phantom being so effective just at the start there. And that marks 2 rounds down that we get to see NRG Academy really take that first fight and find a couple of kills without losing too much, and are able to escape, really allowing SRB to just experience a punishment just on their first aggression. Let's see if that trend is going to continue now, as this will be the rifle round for Shopify Rebellion Black. A lot of bullets being sprayed on both sides while NRG take that forwards approach, but Shopify Rebellion Black at least gaining that space on A, uncontested this time, as nobody has died on either side.
I know that wall looks really interesting, but Ange is just also trying to play away from a possible curveball or flashes that could come his way. The trap play has been set. And speaking of Ange, I mean, he's on a comfort pick. He's so well known for this Omen and how crucial he was in that split win from NRG yesterday, sometimes even being a solo defender, he's now trusted to now pincer SRB, stuck in this lobby yet again, as Giza has no util to give him a heads up, and Ange with a slow peek is decimated, and it's staggered as NRG Academy are wiped off of A.
That's so interesting. That time, the fact that the first fight doesn't go any direction at all actually gives Shopify Rebellion Black an advantage. Just, hey, let's stand our ground. Let's wait for them. And then given the fact that they didn't have any information, NRG Academy felt the need to go exploring, felt the need to push the issue to try and find something, just walking right into Shopify Rebellion Black's crosshairs. Now SRB, all the lightning behind him, just have to deal with a couple things. Shondex under a lot of pressure here, not able to find that first kill.
Oh, Smoke just barely alive, but at the back, Shondex against the wall, against all odds, it seems. 3v4 retake, and it's easier to do so when you're at arm's reach. Nature, you expect him to still be on the spike. You didn't see him leave, so Smoke and Xander are walled off from the spike. The spam is there. NRG Academy know the numbers. The firing squad's in position, and they're taller and they're better, looking to convert the bonus, and so they do off a 3K from Shondex.
And no more utility left in the pocket of Xander there. Can't even stall for time, so has to just take that engagement. And all the while, Shondex somehow dancing around, staying alive. So much utility being dumped into the back of that B site, and still able to come out alive in the midst of all of it. That is the level of pressure that Shondex's life honestly gives to these rounds. As NRG Academy continue to roll things forwards, 3 rounds in a row now, as SRB uncharacteristically not able to really find a foothold just quite yet, despite the fact that they were able to find that initial fight and won that one out. Hayode has that operator in hand, will obviously be looking for that first pick, maybe a little bit more, as SRB are sent back to a save with Nature and Satellite, the only ones bringing a stinger into this round.
What, 3v5 comeback too? Because Ange and Giza died almost immediately, getting desynced on their A lobby swing. Speaking of that, Nature, it's going to be really good at checking corners with the Prowler, even at height. And just forced to teleport out. Renz will assist even while he's concussed. Second Prowler chases away the Omen as Renz unleashes, but gets overwhelmed, he gets suffocated, and SRB quick to take the space. And on these lower buys, maybe SRB could do it, but the Stingers at close range. They try to tango, but they lack health. They lack stability, and it's just Ange hoping to hold back Smoke on one of his best weapons. Just through the wall. Check PC on this guy. He's got wings, and NRG got a clutch.
You hate to see that happen. Smoke, his knee pops around the corner, and that's just enough information for Ange to be able to find that initial kill. An excellent flood in from SRB. You see all of this battle happen inside a garage, and all the meanwhile, Exa has inserted himself so deep onto B. But when it comes down to these situations, Ange has always come out on top, clutching it up, finding NRG Academy their 4th round in a row now. And well, SRB, they're not calling for that timeout just yet. They've got 3 ultimates coming into this next one. Satellite has that run it back available. You see the rifles as well coming into this round as Exa trying to get a little bit more information far forwards. NRG Academy, though, very aware of how they want to play this one, as they understand that some of these win conditions being set up. And right now, Shondex finds a kill. That's going to be huge information for their team to counterplay anything SRB sends at them.
Run it back. Okay, Hayode, you'll get another chance at this another time, but need to give it up. And NRG can just rely on the Cypher trip that was placed in Garage to deny Satellite, but really, you weren't able to deny B. It was all a ruse. Ren's retake, flash around, walks into a Nightfall, but all vision is obscured. There's cages, there's smokes, there's Renz who has to take a seat. The spike has been tapped. There's panic in the SRB camp, and they just sit on the other side of victory. And NRG Academy, they want to keep the streak going. They've set up their bases. They still have to retake. Ange on the flank will combine. He's as stoic as ever with back-to-back clutches, and Shondex will assist. It's an all-out brawl, 2v2. The defuse just goes through right in front of SRB. Too much chaos for them to navigate through.
That is insanity coming out from Ange right now at 10 kills. That is just unbelievable. Walking around, feeling like Thanos himself. just walks in and finds every single kill necessary, completely unchecked by SRB in one of the most Shopify rounds that I've ever seen. If you know Effies and you've been watching SRG, the GC team, then you know that it's always plant B, play off that util. And honestly, it was looking like it was going to work until Ange just decided to walk into the back line and found 3 of them uncontested. That cannot be happening. And yeah, this is an excellent time to pull that timeout out, stabilize what is going on, because NRG Academy are running away with this map so far.
Really have. And even at moments that NRG slip up, they're still able to come back from deficits that you would think that SRB would be in the driver's seat for. And just 10-1. Not like you're having a game-changing ultimate there. Haven sometimes is a fun map that you can use that ultimate on, more on the offense side of things. But the way that Ange was able to clutch, get multi-kills in mid, to allow all of this distraction to happen, this flank materialized beautifully. You have the neural theft for Ange to confirm the 3rd. And the 4th, actually. And all of that chaos allowed NRG Academy to defuse, although I don't think SRB could have done too much more about it. So really solid showing from Ange so far.
And once again, still tough for SRB. Smoke will have the knives available, so that gives a little bit of that range here. But Heode, still operator in hand. Like the desk highlighted, crazy with the first bloods. Looking for more, but at least the cage will cover their heads as they walk in to at least advance a bit more, but Heode still watching like a hawk.
He's so suspicious. Based on his crosshair, he doesn't know if they got into the nook or if they just crossed over to the other corner where the orb is. See how they stagger in, because I think it's going to be Exit was the best matchup here in a Guardian. Or you take height, you test the aim, you pay the price. The rookie is so good, but couldn't find cover as SRB are fearless as they step into the arena. And through the blinds and the stuns, it's a no man's land. Quick kind of stalemate happened, allowing NRG Academy to reestablish themselves after losing one of their duelists. But Xander will create a problem, but a solution will be swift. 21 HP, it should have been easy for Giza until Renz has to confirm the 2nd. That was closer than it should have been.
It really was just at the end there. And once again, it's just a Heode round. Those first kills were so good. Immediately taking down Smoke, shutting down those knives from wrecking absolute havoc, and still just posing such a threat until eventually you see SRB find that kill, but that buys just enough time for NRG to loop themselves around and get themselves ready to counter the play from Shopify Rebellion Black. So another round to the wayside, 6 rounds in a row now. Shopify Rebellion Black looking for a foot in the door at this point. Really haven't found too much. It's going to be an aggressive play as per usual, but Hunter's Fury right off the rip from Giza to try and get some information.
Also trying to dodge his teammates that were in short, trying to make a play, and going for this again. Teleported, maybe heard. Who else is going to sneak by? Oh, this is too long. And end it. No, Ange, no,
oh, Lord.
Not like this. Oh, revenge is sweet. X marks the spot. Giza, 3rd target, 3rd headshot. This side is theirs.
Not like this. It's all because that first kill didn't go the way of Ange, who might have gotten a little bit too overconfident with it, that Exa suddenly able to walk up and do Exa things. One of the players who we've just gassed up so much on Shopify Rebellion Black throughout Stage 2 and some of Stage 3. Production, you're just doing him dirty at this point, but that just allows Exa to just walk up and guarantee all of those kills. Those 4 kills are all on Ange's back, which, hey, you got quite a bit of a lead, but you don't want to give SRB that glimmer of hope, because otherwise they start getting ready, they start clapping back, and this is going to be a lot tighter of a map than it is.
And NRG bought it up in that round too. It was an expensive investment. You even get to shoot it, because Exa solo roaming around the map kills forward. Like, he's really stepped up, and how pivotal his lurks have been for SRB. They finally get on the board after a slip up. The dominoes come crashing down. NRG Academy playing a much safer A defense and more stacked A defense at that, having almost 4 players on this side.
It's a little bit of that different look. just to challenge the brains of Shopify Rebellion Black just a bit. Give them a couple more questions as to what the heck is going on here. And well, SRB, as long as they make sure to clear out some of these tricky angles, should be able to walk away with this, but head spotted out so they at least know where one is. Giza just still hanging out here, waiting for a cheeky kill.
Ren's still has a curveball, but knowing that there's an op still here, now given over to Nature so that Smoke can dash in. We'll see what kind of cutoff Giza can do. You're only going to have left. One shot and one opportunity with a Sheriff. No shock bolts, no time to act. The Molly only delays SRB as Smoke has cemented himself. He stepped forth, made his name on the site, but Shondex is able to respond. The focus distracted. SRB all look to the left side, leaving a gap for NRG Academy to slap away Shondex, the third, with just the Sheriff. The Nature Up has to pierce through the box at the last second. SRB will plant with only 1 second to spare as Hayode has to retake with a Marshall. All the weapons he could pick up are within the site, and X is not even gonna let you get a glimpse of the site.
Ooh, man, that was getting a lot closer than it should have been, but one of the players the desk highlighted, Shondex, being so impactful on that round. Staying alive and finding so many of those kills. SRB not able to just fish that Cypher out of the site. Makes it so that it's that down to the wire situation. Nature as well, just under so much pressure. Has to be able to get that spike down, but is being consistently pushed out by Shondex and eventually finds that kill, making sure that it would be an SRB round. But man, if it just came down to pure time, NRG Academy easily could have won that one. SRB get their second, 4 more rounds left in this half. Still quite a bit of ground to make up for.
NRG Academy already had to kind of save off of some stingers, and as soon as they had money, they buy another op. You know how important this is to Hayode to duel against Smoke. And Smoke talked about in an interview the mind games he has to play. He wants to avoid the other op as much as possible, mark those tendencies from Hayode, and that'll be a deeper and longer term project for Smoke as SRB. They had brought the spike over to A, starting to see success over there after the retakes at C were a little too strong for NRG. And planting B has also been way too chaotic after NRG Academy being able to wall them off from it.
Slow as ever on both sides. The insert of Smoke, though, looking to potentially challenge and give SRB another option just in case things go wrong on A. And by all means, look who's on A. Plenty of opportunity for NRG Academy to potentially find that snuff. It's going to come down to how this engagement goes. 30 seconds left on the clock. Now they got to make this happen.
Cage is going to get the attention of NRG Academy, and Shondex is an anchor. He's facing by himself, but the curve last second denies Exa. 6 feet under, and SRB really having issues making space. Hayode, no options for Smoke to get into B. The op has been dropped, the ball has been dropped, and there will not be an opportunity to plant as SRB could not maintain momentum after the win streak that they almost started to create.
Yeah, and at least Nature will be able to walk away with the operator, give it back to Smoke, but one of the questions right now, Smoke really hasn't been able to come online. In addition, Satellite as well, trying to be kind of the tip of the spear, right? Walk in onto the site, just off that curveball, find that timing, and yet still Shondex stands his ground and is consistently finding multi-kills every single time SRB push into him. Shondex really is the reason why NRG Academy have continued to win these rounds. Sure, Ange was popping off in the beginning, but you cannot deny the consistency that Shondex is bringing to the table when it comes to this defensive half. If SRB want to make this one work, they got to figure out how to deal with that Cypher because he's running amok onto the squad.
NRG are not as forwardly present as they usually are at C, hiding their defensive strategies, relying on the camera here of Shondex after hearing the tap of the orb from C. At any point, Nature will make the call to let the Nightfall in. Prowler to get info on Garage. Force is already at the dashes out of Hayode. They gotta know where he is, so he's a little bit stuck taking damage. Hasn't fallen yet. Wants to force more util out of SRB. Now a second Prowler. The wall's out. Hayode quicker to escape this time.
At least Hayode gets so much util out of SRB just to retake that garage space. All the while, though, Smoke has been lurking with Xander. Cosmic Divide available for SRB as well. If Smoke is able to find this opening pick or find that information onto where Giza is hanging out, this is going to be an easy A execute as SRB posture up onto that A site.
Face your fear.
There is the Nightfall, will be marking Giza, and he cannot see, but thanks to the smoke of his Omen, Ange will try to bail him out. As soon as he gets out, though, he's a victim, and SRB put up the walls, the Cosmic Divide, and even getting ahead of it is Satellite. I think used the run it back, and he's back in the equation. Early info, Xander shuts down that flank. Ange caught now twice, trying to wrap around A. And SRB feel like they really put the nail in the coffin with the investments that they did to win this round.
A bit of a beautiful idea coming out from Ange. Just shadow step on the other side of that tripwire. Make sure that they don't have that information, but at this point, SRB, Xander specifically, was making sure to watch for that. And now we're seeing a bit of a change up of pace of SRB. You look at who's holding which guns. We hyped up Smoke to be that operator player, but one of the things he has been working on in stage 3 is getting so comfortable with this Phantom. And so now we get to be treated to a little bit of this rifling from Smoke, which means that one of the other players on the side of SRB will be on that operator and be looking to secure those individual kills. And that just adds yet another variable to the equation that NRG Academy have to be careful for. Shopify Rebellion Black, get that third round. 2 rounds still left in this half to make this competitive, but NRG Academy still with a pretty dominant lead here.
Xander ends up dropping that op and deciding to pick a rifle because an op really does slow down your game, and Smoke usually has to be the one that breaks in and infiltrates, and someone else does the op, and maybe that's the style that SRB don't want to go for this round. Be able to afford another one if things change. NRG Academy wanted a quick fight at A main, and they've got Hayode in an interesting position, swapped away from Garage. The trips won't stand in SRB's way, as the dart will apparently be the kryptonite to Smoke. And already being one down at Paranoia, also delaying SRB, blinding the spike carrier as the haunt marks no one. Crossfire, NRG Academy have a very good defense going on here. SRB still trying to get looks, taking a peek, curveball, Shondex dislodged, and hidden away. Hoping to have the last laugh, denies a spike planter, but the reaction is laser, is just a laser from the other side. 2 versus 2, spike down. Hayode just used the dash and doesn't have anyone to play off of, and the high-low basically confirms that for SRB.
Xander coming alive there. Make sure this one is going to work out, and I like that SRB change up. Instead of just being, you know, quite frankly intimidated by a lot of that NRG Academy util that made that entry so much more difficult. They slow things down just for a second and then make their play in very methodically. They know they have to take those fights early, so they make sure to just flash out the back there and go for the play. All the while, Xander finding the necessary kills to make sure that SRB get across the board. Xander bringing that tier 1 experience into it. Had a pop-off game last time as well, but is really an X factor.
Okay, what a switch up from SRB. I mean, NRG Academy were feeling comfortable taking that A main space and trying to have Hayode in a position to flank or to disrupt the backline of SRB. And look at that retaliation as SRB get the ace up NRG's sleeve out of the equation. And they have Giza low.
Gonna be an A-side hit here. Renz does have full utility though, so could stall things out with a molly, especially after that wall goes up.
Nature with a signature Odin, even from the Lotus days, and this is the last round of the half. Who will end it? Giza at 10 HP. The plot armor strong. So is the flash setup from Renz. And the run it back. He is back in position to defend solo, though. He has to buy time, and the Odin is just too loud, and it's too proud. The numbers in SRB's favor. High ground unsmoked. Shondex can be such a hero for this team, but man, the spam through the boxes and all these destructibles is giving a lot of kills over to SRB.
Switching sides.
And honestly, I really like the pathing that we see Shopify Rebellion Black take that A site. We always see the wall get set up to enable a push into that backer site every single time they want to engage it, which allows them to be able to flush out some of the members of NRG Academy, kind of box them off and surround them and kill them. That time around, though, they do have to kind of back off out of the site to make sure that they play their lives, but it's in the midst of all this kind of chaos here that we see Nature bring out that Odin and just spraying things down. Nature also really just waking up and being such an instrumental player, sure, making the calls, but also making the plays happen for Shopify Rebellion Black. And now we're at the 7-5 half, a much more comfortable position. Before we saw NRG run away 6 rounds in a row to SRB 0. And as we swap sides, let's see how NRG Academy want to take this initial attack.
Yeah, that SRB timeout made all the difference. Got them back into a fighting position as NRG Academy converted the bonus. NRG Academy, though, step in. A big double from Hayode. This double duelist is insane. And NRG Academy barely taken any damage throughout this. Nature in garage. Smoke through the top of the site. See if they can time this well. One enemy not remaining. A lot for Nature to use. Just the trying to retake into C feels impossible when you can just own the corners if you're NRG. Looking like a flawless pistol at that. Smoke, though, will be trying to fluster them a little bit, but at 21 HP, you need to be in a healthier position to try and clutch this against the when the spike's already planted.
At this point, you just look for a couple more kills. If not, you just die to the spike to deny the ultimate orb, but Smoke, yeah, just gonna be walking in now. It's taken out, and it's just this death ball from NRG Academy that I think they've got such a good read on how to kind of use all their utility to kind of play off of it. I mean, the double duelist makes sense. Look at this. Like, sure, it's the 2 duelists, but at the same time, Ange is there. We see the flood in come in just at the exact same time. It's all syncing up well on their attack. This is something that we know NRG Academy on those initiations always look so damn good at. So let's see how SRB want to try and counter that. I mean, one of the big things that I'm going to be watching out for is where they position Smoke. Where do they want that Jet player to be around and try to get that information, find those cheeky kills, because that's what Smoke's kind of good for.
Here.
Hayode also pretty good with these marshals, any kind of op buy, but all SRB have to do is play hidden away. You do not want to face the music head on, not with classics. As Xander, I mean, the confidence on this guy to go for a flank solo with a classic, and he encounters Reds and couldn't get the last shot into Xander. And no way he repeaks, so free orb for NRG.
And you see as well, Ren's just kind of sending his life, not afraid to die because you just want to get a lot of this online, while Hayode going crazy with the Marshal up on this A site. Will deny any of that additional pressure. SRB try to look for that cheeky kill. Xander, though, still looks for it. Able to find Ren's pretty clean.
Yeah, Ren's kind of went in solo trying to find where this player was. There was no info util for Giza left, and NRG Academy will trade it out in the end. But the whole point of these classics is to weaken NRG Academy as much as possible on the upcoming bonus. Not too bad for Xander to still find impact after getting caught by Ren's initially. So I think SRB are just going to go down with the ship here. And once the recon got earned again from Giza, he decides to send it back site. Not going to tag anyone. Double swing there as SRB are not deciding to go down for the spike and give some ult orbs over to NRG.
Yeah, it feels like they're always just there like, hey, it's always winnable. Let's give it a shot. And unfortunately, it doesn't quite go their way. It's all good, though. It's kind of expected as NRG Academy, they find the pistol and bonus as well. So seeing how they're going to be going into this next round here. Not by Rebellion Black. I mean, really meeting their match here on Haven. It does feel like NRG Academy just always a step ahead, especially when it comes to those kill departments. See the full buy-up, though, on SRB. So it'd be around to potentially cancel out the streak of rounds that we saw NRG Academy get in that first half, but they have to make this one happen, and they have to make it happen now.
Hayode just trying to absorb any aggression that could have come out of SRB at a main. That could be a fight you need to expect at times with the type of composition that SRB are running. Double trips and camera. Or being tapped here for NRG. SRB don't need to overreact.
Oops.
Okay. top of heaven goes unsmoked. So SRB get one gun down. And after AOD, I think I already used dashes. Really need AOD to be part of these fights. He's such a boon for NRG, and he's a shooter too. Ange, though, will be the tip of the spear, teleporting past some of this Phoenix util. Curveball out, Satellite can't address the elephant in the room. And big and strong is NRG, but the clapback retaliation from SRB is even better. The spike, though, where it dropped is really interesting too. You would think you would want to plant a little bit before the boxes in a more default area. So now SRB can just babysit the objective.
Looks like Smoke's going to be able to find that first kill here, and Ren's still alive, aware of where they are, but Nature will shut that one down. And once again, it just comes down to good timing coming out from SRB on that defense. They put out so much pressure leading towards A that you see so much of the attention for NRG Academy kind of focus, laser focus onto that side. All the while, this allows Smoke to kind of insert in the midst of all of this to gain a lot of that space and then make it so it's so much more difficult. They're really utilizing this Phoenix wall so damn well when you see SRB try and take that space. Every single time it just cuts off one of those avenues, nice, clean, and easy to allow the insertion of their duelist to fly in and dominate the space. Every single time it's that little microplay that has really helped SRB gain some footing.
Yeah, when XL or just anyone can anchor the back of Gong, it just makes getting into B and maintaining it so difficult for NRG Academy, even when things started off so well. Now it's only 3 rounds separating these two teams after a, 7-2 lead that NRG had. See if they can stay in that lead. The credits are looking pretty slim from both sides. I mean, you even have a judge from Xander, won't be part of this dance. G Academy, Ren's curveball, Axa, quick shot. The smoke comes up and it really kills the momentum of NRG Academy. But through the blind, SRB are put into a submission, and it's an even trade, but the numbers are still established from NRG Academy. And as the dust settles, the spike will be planted.
And making this a 2v2, and remember, Xander just has that judge. He's gonna be bringing up the rear here. Smoke will be on his own. Sayade and Renz find an excellent opportunity and actually push their way out towards spawn.
As Xander could maybe get an upgrade, maybe that's why he chose to path through short, but Smoke will try to mark that he can safely take that weapon. What? Just coming in through the flank. How do you expect this wraparound? What a read from Renz, finally getting his day in the sun. Double digits for NRG.
And Renz as well, getting the run it back online. It was a cheeky little idea there from SRB to try and make that one work, but ultimately I think it comes down to this util placement from NRG Academy that just isn't as tight as we would expect on the SRB attack. But at the same time, they're coming in and they're fragging out. So while the engagement doesn't look as clean, these guys are always making sure that they're following up on those kills, make sure they check the corners, make sure they clean things up, and aren't afraid to get creative with it. That time going for that heaven push, making sure to completely just take Smoke out, and then that allows for that isolation in that 1v1, which is a little risky, especially up against Xander. But we see Renz be able to close things out, and SRB this time will now be taking a timeout to try and figure out how they want to approach these next rounds. Both of these Phoenixes have their ultimates, have the run it back online, but when you look purely at the stats, you can tell which one has been a much more impactful player thus far on the map.
Just looking at the number of deaths that people like Giza and Hayode have, I mean, I think Giza was more towards the defense. A was a very popular site to hit, but Hayode, how much he's been getting punished in early rounds, it does kind of set off the plan of NRG Academy. I think they rely so much on his fragging capabilities that if he's not alive and well, I don't know if the rest of NRG Academy can be alive and well, at least consistently. There really needs to be that star that can show up for them. And that time it was Renz. SRB only winning 1 round in that half. Need a cleaner fight when it comes to A. They try to get proactive when it comes to A. Renz activates the run it back, heading into C, into the crosshairs of Exa. Who decides
There's
to
no
only
way,
wait
man.
for reinforcements? He converts 2 of them, just classics. The NRG Academy laps, trusting in Ren's run it back a little too much. He'll have another life, but at what cost? You gave 2 rifles to the SRB defense, and the spike got dropped in the midst of all of that. X has gotten a third. And this is about to be a SRB thrifty. Definitely not something they had discussed in the timeout, but something they're happy to get. Hayode Outlaw, how are you supposed to retake C with that?
You simply do not. I think that's the only way that you're going to make this one happen. Hayode at this point, looking to secure a couple of kills, but Satellite's so good with it. And that round comes down to a little bit of, let's say, just eagerness coming through from Renz, who walks by Exa. And Exa, hey, last time around we saw Exa pop off when Ange unfortunately missed a little bit of a timing on that spray down, but this time around Exa secures 2 kills, all the while leaving Renz alive because the run it back was about to expire. You talk about the brain on Exa, and that is just simply an intelligent play, knowing that that Phoenix is going to get flushed out of the site, kill the only people who are going to be necessary, and make it so that it's impossible for NRG Academy to be able to win that one out. And now stabilization occurs. NRG Academy are the ones who have the lower weaponry here, as Shopify, Rebellion Black have everything that they need. Hayode, though, will pop that Bladestorm as soon as the ult orb gets picked up. Does NRG Academy look to push onto C-site?
Quite a risk. Yeah, quite a risk for Hayode. When you're facing a Cypher, you don't know what the trip setup is going to be. Exa, you give him a butter knife, a classic, a rifle, he's getting kills, and him and Ren's got some beef, okay? When it comes to these seaside encounters, like, they're going back and forth. Knives have been activated from Hayode, hoping to put a lot of pressure on himself to be the hero, to be the playmaker. The drone is already starting to trigger some of those wires to get a sense of what will await NRG when it comes to the C site. They're re-hitting. The curveball is right in front of Exa in the same position he was in last round. And the bullets hail all over NRG
goodness.
Academy. A 3K from Xander against pistols. It's not even a fair fight.
Hey, yo, Exa still walks away with 1 kill there, full blinded. Is just like, I'm just gonna sidestep while holding down left click, and still finds a kill, and then it's an absolute mosh pit inside of an Astra smoke just to kind of close out the round. I mean, it's just madness coming through from both these sides, with Xander walking away with 3 kills, getting closer, gets that Cosmic Divide online, and Shopify, Rebellion Black at this point have completely stabilized on their defense, have made this so much more of a closer game now. 2 rounds separating these teams, and this will be NRG Academy taking their time out to try and figure out what is going on, because every single time that they've moved in onto it, SRB have just been elite when it comes to finding those kills on the initial engagement of the pushing onto the site, but then the retakes to flush out NRG Academy have also looked always on point. It's very brawly between these 2 teams, and just a bit more coordination coming through from Shopify, Rebellion Black.
Yeah, C is just feeling so impossible to penetrate when you have people playing as well as Exa. NRG have tried to fight into A, and that's a bloodbath. You're barely left with anything at all, and that doesn't seem so guaranteed. And the B site, if you have a Phoenix or any kind of smoker late into anybody, I mean, there's so many people on SRB side that can obscure vision, that playing a B post plan is very perilous. You really have to consider who's still alive in the round. And NRG Academy's lead is starting to dissipate as SRB confirmed back-to-back rounds.
Don't forget, though, on the side of NRG Academy, got MCE, former coach of Tier 1, helping out the squad, has been really focused on this Tier 2 scene, and especially on Maryville University, now absorbed into NRG Academy. So that timeout might make a difference here. All the while, Leffy's the coach for Shopify Rebellion Black, trying to make sure that they still have more of their playbook to run through. So you can only imagine the different mind games coming into this next round.
That's talked about. If SRB can slow down the game off of this Astra, they can be comfortable. But only a small delay creating Garage, but information as SRB can change their positions. They bring over Nature to Prowler into B, to deny and at least check that option from NRG Academy as the trip still withstands at B main. NRG now are starting to break that as SRB hope to converge to coalesce on both sides. NRG Academy bring their smokes up to provide some safety to get the plant down as soon as possible. And Smoke just takes a shot through. And no response from NRG Academy. The spike is at least down, but the flank has materialized. Xander goes unmarked, unchecked, and no trades are coming out of NRG Academy. They feel stuck. They're playing individually. The only chance they have is Ange on the flank, and he finds a couple of heads. 3 laid to rest. Hayode does his job, and NRG Academy, okay, that was kind of goofy, but hey, it should still be, that should still be, it was clean until the knife kill happened, but yeah, win's a win.
Oh no, we're both paranoid. Oh, we've only got near sight. All right, knives out, and you just see Xander just like, I got no bullets, I'm just going in there, and is still able to walk away with a kill. But I was gonna say Xander, an excellent flank, but only outflanked by Ange, the person who has been so good at the start of the round of this map. Sorry, for NRG Academy, finding another time to shine yet again. And if you're SRB, you have to be so conscious of that flank coming online because the star players on SRB were not aware and taken out in a second.
Oh God, what is Ange up to? He is sticking that teleport, by the way. Like, what has he been up to? He's such a team player, but he doesn't have a team anymore. He's not even alive. NRG Academy hit right in the teeth by an op from Smoke. The spike is down. And SRB just don't feel comfortable playing in that choke to watch it.
Xander still up top. Oh, okay, Geese actually finds that. I was gonna say no smokes, so that could be good.
The drone shot, no, someone is close left. But the cage is up, NRG just try to focus down one lane, safety away from the flash. Smoke 9 HP, you're not gonna get a second chance, but that's all he needs. SRB continue to live on.
Hashtag get smoked. NRG Academy, they walk out into the operator in Smoke's hands. And as we've been talking about, Smoke really good with that operator. And I know what you're thinking. All right, we're talking about those long range duels. I mean, obviously this is an operator. You're playing those long range angles. Nah, even if you get up close in Smoke's face, somehow he makes it work and is able to find so many kills under all of that pressure that NRG Academy were throwing at him. I definitely saw it fly in there, but other agents as well trying to back that up, secure that kill, and Smoke finds them all just with an operator. It's just so beautiful to see it happen.
Disrespect on the Odin. Nature barely let out 5 bullets. And he's so nice for him to be able to use that as proficiency from Lotus to this map to bring in Odin. Will put a bit of fear in NRG Academy. They'll still take Garage. They have not killed this Odin, so they do not want to be in Garage for too long. And the quick take of C, the impatience not paying off. Xander's the ultimate anchor. The return of this Astra, just like the split A's. A satellite sends them packing. A flawless from SRB keeps them within 1.
Yeah, all the while we get to watch Smoke just miss a bit of a quick scope, but just enough pressure to force Hayday away. And all the meanwhile, NRG Academy try to engage on that C site, upon which it's an excellent crossfire being set up by Xander and Nature. Xander once again having a heater of a map, just mows them down as they walk in here. And we talked about the impact that Shondex had on the NRG Academy side when it came to that defense. But right now, Xander has been on a tear, and not just in those more static positions, is willing to take those timings, whether or not it's going for those lurks, going for those flanks, or just holding down those sites. Xander, gonna be good for it.
Is the SRB comeback real? Can you really trust them this time after the clutch from Satellite? He went to shake things up, rustle the leaves and the feathers, but Renz bests him against the other Phoenix. Garage Take is not fully committed, not with the cages up. And with a Nightfall, Nature could be in a position to set them up for a fight, but only if NRG Academy take the bait. And instead, they wait to make their next move, as Shondex could pull out the neural theft if he does get access to that body. But they don't want to walk into a trap after hearing that Nature Odin around.
What's so important is you see the diligence that SRB are doing. Make sure to check everything, even with those trap wires, but Neural Theft is going to be so important. Now they can just move in nice and easy.
At Neural Theft and the run it back, the extra insurance, the layers, but one of those layers has been peeled back. SRB are gonna engage solo. Exit doesn't need a team. He looks for the right opportunity, and now he'll look for a grave. The rest of SRB will have to make do against the Flash. Well, the retake wasn't ready. Xander is. The heroics are there. Half HP, and it's a 4K to win it all for Xander.
Smoke loses his headset there in the midst of all of that. Yeah, Xander pops around the corner, finds a kill, and is like, okay, I'll swap to my secondary. I got a pistol, right? Oh, I've got a shotgun. And then immediately spots the other person and is like, this is not going to work out well for me. Hey, Smoke, you got my back? Yeah, Smoke's always got my back. But the problem right now for NRG Academy when they're trying to make these engagements happen is that they're not necessarily doing a good job of using their utility to help them enter. That time around, when we saw them move in there, it was just very dry swings coming through to try and diff the members on SRB. And sure, on the first half, it felt like it was always going their way. But as these players like Xander, like Exa, start to heat up, and those crosshairs, I mean, you're just walking right into them. NRG Academy needs to start pulling it together and work on that macro exec to make sure that they're using their flashes, using their utility to isolate and make sure they can sweep out the site without just walking in and hoping to win out a gun duel.
That's why I said SRB were more convincing on their wins, because NRG yesterday against Nightblood Gaming, 13-10, 13-11, 13-10. Like, the matches are as close as it gets, but you cannot count out NRG Academy until the map is done. They just need to be more organized, more clinical when they have these floods. They outnumber SRB, but the punchback, the heroics from people like Xander and Axa are next level. And they're playing so far back that it's hard to hinder them with util. NRG Academy are forcing an all stinger buy. And going into C, they hope to close the gap using smokes, and now have to navigate through Xander, who's going to be up close and personal to try and throw them off their game. A lurk from Ange. I mean, if anyone is trying to make a miracle happen, it's him. Not the usual lurk for this team, but Ange will do what he can. Almost a double, but he ran out of bullets to finish off Satellite in time. The Cosmic Divide to slow down the game. That's what SRB needs, as NRG just need a breath after all of that.
This actually works out perfectly for SRB. You can tell the original plan was go to that A site. We've got so much room with Ange. Unfortunately, it goes a little bit haywire. And so NRG Academy decided to go for that B side. They used a little bit of their util to be able to make that happen. At least got the Cosmic Divide out, but now SRB swimming around like sharks around B.
Smoke is dashing in, and man, these stingers are very difficult to go up against. And SRB were engaging through smokes with an op, and Xander's barrel just spotted. So he'll probably not be able to save this weapon or do anything about this round. NRG Academy hoping to end this in regulation, getting up to match point to solidify the win that seemed to be their destiny until SRB threw them completely off. And it's an NRG Academy thrifty too off of that stinger buy.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, in those close quarters, if everyone's grouped up, those stingers are going to be guaranteeing kills. And now NRG Academy, off of such a strange last round, make it to map point. Just a reminder, this is their map choice, so you want to make sure you're at least able to get this one before we go to map number 2, which is Breeze, which historically, Shopify Rebellion Black have beat NRG Academy on before. So there's a bit more history here, but more importance for NRG to close this one out on this round.
It's the end all be all of this map with a Hunter's Fury. If NRG can draw them into a fight in any of these paths, it could be strong, but almost a collect. Smoke at least gets one kill. Giza, Hunter's Fury won't be in the arsenal for this round. SRB is overtime in their sight. They are up by 1. They've slowed down the game completely. I do have my eye on Axa, who could be going through the flank. Getting these trips out would really get NRG Academy paranoid. Smokes in position as NRG Academy hope to cut noise. Does this make them activate? Does this make SRB overthink and overheat? As nature is steady, they are not budging. Ren's flash taking height. Hayode down under after that. And Smoko's untouched in the corner. Ren's tries to carve his way. Cannot puncture through the plot armor. That is SRB. Overtime for map 1.
Wouldn't have it any other way between these two teams. NRGA Academy really showing us just how much they've leveled up across the course of stage 3. Originally being that team, now to me felt like they were in the middle there, but now going from blow for blow against Shopify Rebellion Black. And a lot of those players for NRGA Academy who heated up in that first half have not found that opportunity in the second, while the other members of SRB on that defense specifically were looking so clean. They knew exactly what they had to do, the different protocols being established. So now we find our overtime, and it's seeming more and more likely that whichever team is able to find that initial attacking half will be the one to be able to close it out, just with how strong both these teams have been on their defense.
Yeah, really Shondex versus Exa in terms of these C anchors. And you throw Xander in there too. It's a lot of heroics coming out of both these teams to push each other to the edge for this first map of the best of 3. Tournament lives on the line to enter the big 3 of playoffs. Aode bought a glass cannon op too, and look how far forward he is. If SRB even think about going A, it could be their demise. Smoke comes up, thankfully for Xander to make that approach safe as possible, not knowing what kind of NRGA Academy traps they have laid, just like they did with Ange and Giza in short before. Flash out, and Hayode still pulls the trigger on 1, denying Smoke. Now it's all up to Satellite to make room for them.
And this is perfect because that was so far forwards that gave more than enough time for NRGA Academy to regroup themselves. Still plenty of utility for them to use to try and stall SRB here as Satellite is going through looking for those kills.
Satellite revealed himself with that flash, and wow, what a shot from Giza. The rest of SRB now trickling in as NRGA Academy reassemble. They unite. It's a 3 versus 2 as the defense, the wall comes crashing down, metaphorically and physically. Ren's with a big double to make do, and NRGA Academy kick off our overtime.
A lot of gambling being set up there for NRGA Academy, but it all works out well in your favor. Once again, Hayode able to at least find Smoke in the entry there, buying enough time for the rest of NRGA Academy to get themselves set up on the rest of that defense. And all the while, too, SRB run through Satellite. If he was able to at least find one there, this could have been a winnable round, but it all comes down to this final wall, and Ren's being a little bit snappier to it in such unconventional positioning. Just ready for that thing to drop to find those kills. Now NRGA Academy tasting victory just on the other side of this. Smoke, operator in hand, watching down a long, but under so much pressure, has to back off. Don't forget, because this is overtime, not enough credits to buy that full shield.
Huge rounds from Satellite and Ren's leveraging these fights, but Ren's getting the last laugh. And like you said, it's going to be about converting your attacking round. Glass cannon off this time for the defense of Smoke. No one in sight, but Shondex is in a one and done spot. Could probably cage his way out, but it's Smoke now that's uncaged. He's just gonna own this lane while the rest of NRG Academy make progress to maybe even infiltrate the back line here of C to wrap around, which going up against Xander would be a monumental task. He's watching Garage like a hawk. Smoke shuts down Shondex. Options limited. NRG Academy go ban for ban. And to end this post plant on B would be a risk. The trip and even the molly is going to slow things down. Hayode will still go above and beyond for his team. The trip slows down Giza. The plant is being delayed. SRB, the bullets from the Odin are just making this an obstacle course as the plant has still not gone through. There's a threat in mid. The plant just goes down. And Giza barely lives to tell the tale. Exa waits for his moment to crunch with the rest of the team. They approach from the right side off the haunt. Giza's revealed. Exa knows he's got his attention. And Giza's paranoid on how to approach it. The quick taps! Giza's no slouch! SRB only have 2 and they have to wrap around. The Odin is a laser. Ren's, can he go back-to-back clutches to protect the plant? SRB have a read. They're stacked up. They're beating Ren's. He takes the bullet! What? He takes the bait! And NRG clutch off Reds to take map 1.
An unconventional win coming through from NRG Academy here. What was going to be the favorite Shopify Rebellion Black, the darling of so many playoffs, fall flat on the NRG Academy's map pick. And just towards the end there, I gotta say, it was looking like...
Thank you so much, Tiara. Yeah, Shopify Rebellion Black have a lot to prove in this series. 1, that they can win, and 2, that they can do so on Breeze. Because, man, they were so convincing yesterday, Marks. Having a very one-sided affair on Breeze, up 10-4 against Core. And we went to map 3. I don't need to say much more than that. And for them to choose this map again, this would be a crazy way to either end their bracket or to force a map 3.
The way that the storylines are writing themselves, I mean, it's just unreal coming out from this map pick. I mean, we were talking about this before we were getting into this map, and we saw the map picks and bids, and it's like, okay, Breeze, let's see how this one goes. But SRB, I'm imagining they've tightened some stuff up. They took a look at the tape. They hopefully are going to tighten up some of these mistakes. And already, Ange, finding a kill.
Well, starting to mark how Smoke maneuvers around this map. Quick catch, but Satellite will just make do and just steps into the arena and just becomes a gladiator himself. Equals up the numbers when SRB didn't slow down at all. If anything, they just keep the press. They stay together. They're almost all moving together in unison. They're about to encounter Shondex. Quick headshot, quick around the corner. Even faster is Renz. And now it's a duel to end the pistol. Xander versus Shondex. The defensive masterminds for each team on different roles. And Shondex, what an adjustment. What a 3K. NRG with the pistol.
Excellent wraparound from NRG Academy, starting it off with that very fast rotate, very fast flank coming through. And Shondex, who made a name for himself on this Viper, specifically having crazy plays when it came to maps like Breeze, getting a time to shine yet again. All the while, on the other side, Satellite being able to find those first couple of kills shows this level of aggression. And once again, taking a look at that composition from SRB. One of the things about that Harbor is that you're favoring that much faster attacking pace. We saw previously like teams like Fnatic running it, only to just completely take it in record time on how fast some of these attacks were. And so I'm wondering if that's still the game plan here for Shopify Rebellion Black, and whether or not NRG are going to be expecting this. But given the difference of weaponry now, imagine this should be an easier cleanup for NRG Academy if Shopify decide to hit that pedal.
Exa is the A-site MVP when it comes to SRB. The way he's able to curve the wall to seal in the right amount of real estate. The Reckoning's on defense, always at the right time. But will SRB be in the right place with the Classics close range? The Bandit and Smoke work together. And NRG Academy have to rely on Renz to bulldoze the competition. And barely any numbers left. Only 2 weapons into the bonus if this works out for NRG. Satellite was able to claim the spike though, but there's no safety when you're alone. He's trying to create a good fighting opportunity. What a tap from Satellite. Make it a third. And next on the hit list. And Satellite even got to flick and get Ange into sufficient repositions and gets the last laugh.
Wow, Satellite almost clutches that one up. Did more than enough to be able to get that ultimate ready for round number 3 now, as Renz just completely just balled through them. Giving the SMG in hand, a nice little hit onto Hayade to make that one possible. Once again, for Shopify Rebellion Black, especially with that Harbor, the name of the game is going to be sectioning things off and then overwhelming those small pieces, overwhelming those small centers, all the while Xander smoking off some of the far. You want to split that site up into sections to make it so much more digestible, so much more easier to overwhelm your defenders. And we got to see them be able to make that pace happen if they want to take this attack. As I imagine this might be the round that we get to see run it back. That's aggressive from NRG Academy on mid.
The pathing from SRB to adjust to the Viper's wall that Shondex has been put down. Kind of nice, trying to curveball their way to mid, not getting the encounter into Nest. Smoke, Outlaw, checking things out, maybe hearing that jump. Maybe I'm the one that's paranoid. NRG Academy, they're pretty forward with their duelists at this cutoff. They're going to go for a preemptive swing. Hayode bests the rifle of Exa and even goes to pick that up. Renz is going to have a Vandal, and this is huge for NRG Academy.
Well, that's absolutely massive. We talk about those first blood kills, and that is crazy. A couple of bullets fly off from Exa, but not enough to secure that kill onto Hayode. And so now SRB, they have to make this B side work to run it back active.
Yeah, you had to run it back so early and it just didn't really activate till now. Better late than never. You know what? Win's a win. They two are just brute forcing their way into the B site, hoping to create some noise around the map to maybe weaken this B site. Gave SRB a hard time, but hey, who's really having a hard time is NRG Academy trying to convert this bonus, especially after able to get that first blood going. But hey, even through NRG Academy getting both pistols in the last map, they still only barely won in overtime. So we still have a long map to go.
Yeah, we definitely do. Shondex now just playing the time down here, as we're going to be treated to a little bit more specialty coming out on the side of SRB. Something that I noted so many months ago at this point was in stage 1 in the finals. I believe it was Core versus Shopify Rebellion Black. At the time, Smoke on NRG Academy, on Core really took over the map. That was the map that cemented for me that Smoke was one of the best sniper players in VCL. And as we get further and further into these rounds, Smoke now potentially on that hunting ground again, kind of going buddy-buddy with Satellite on these attacks, playing the sniper rifle still close range and still able to find so much value on that attack. I'm excited to see whether or not Smoke's able to take over once again and make this an easy SRB win.
And SRB were good at really reading the opposition, the other sniper, Hayode, and how he was accessing that verticality back on Haven. SRB are very intelligent players that can note those tendencies. A Smoke versus Hayode, I guess it doesn't matter how smart you are when you just shoot faster. Hayode will best the other jet. NRG Academy have information in mid. They have A secure. They're gonna try and re-clear through B, and SRB are back to square one.
What an impact Hayode has. Just being able to find those first kills, I mean, makes such an impact, especially when it's on one of those key players like Smoke. Thankfully, though, Satellite has already been having a much better map than the last one, so SRB still have some options available. Giza, under a lot of pressure, will decide to actually back off just in time to allow that triple man push, but Shondex holding it down. Oh
my God, Shondex, an absolute unit over there. So many options dwindled. SRB now have to fight tooth and nail in an uphill battle, and nature gives them a fighting chance. The swords will clash, the flank. The two duelists on their way, cutting noise at the right time. Perhaps Xander may have just heard it. See if he can handle the heat. Or maybe he has to get out of the kitchen, get out of A main. And now nature is up against the world, and it isn't a 1v2 technically with the duelist until Ange comes in, cleans it up. NRG Academy back on their feet.
Simply just not easy when you have a Renz sliding across your screen and just able to find the one-tap headshot onto you as well. Unbelievable gameplay coming out from NRG Academy as, once again, they're starting to really secure their lead here. We'll see SRB scrap together what they can. Should have enough to get more or less a full buy minus one person. That being Exa, who, this Harbor, I mean, listen, Exa's got a really strong pool of agents that he can play in Valorant. I'm genuinely surprised that we're seeing this Harbor over someone like Viper, who personally, I really liked how we saw Exa on the Viper, but this has been what Shopify have been doing in Hayday. It's already found 2 kills. I guess Exa will be getting that rifle upgrade after all.
Sometimes it's Heyo Day, sometimes it's Goodbye Day. And hey, going 2
Oh
for
my
1, I
goodness.
don't mind it. How has no one made that joke yet, by the way? We got time, though. We got time to workshop that one, because, I mean, that has put SRB at an absolute standstill.
Van Silly, that you? What happened?
I know, right? He's rubbed up on me a little too much. All right, what does SRB have up their sleeve? They don't have their jet to kind of burst into the side. No Hunter's Fury. Like, we'll see if Satellite can make some magic happen.
And I love this positioning being taken right now by Ange. It's kind of up top here, waiting on this kind of tricky angle. Even though you're able to section things off, I think they're waiting for Xander to get a little bit more into position in order to be able to get that crunch online. So as patient as ever, more than enough time here on the clock. And actually, they're going to regroup potentially in mid, try to challenge at least this B site. Potentially? Nope, looks like it's going to be double doors.
After that lurk from Xander, he's been able to open up the map so much. Numbers in favor of NRG, trying to limit after seeing the wall come up from Satellite, pushing them off of where they want to plant. Now you have to face the music. You have to face SRB that outgun you in a moment that NRG Academy seems solid on after flooring 2 people at the beginning. Hey, they put such effort into this round just for it to all go awry. As Ange is about to be greeted by 3 people looking his way. So SRB back on the board.
Yeah, listen, we've seen Ange do some disgusting things, but I think that one was just a little bit too much. Heyday got away with a murder. But one of the things that we've talked about SRB being is that well-practiced team, right? Like, they put together so many strategies, they've got so many of those things. But at the same time, you've got Satellite and Exa, who previously were the types of players who would just run down and play individual style of kills, just look for those opportunities and make that one happen. And that round basically just reverts back into there as they just bulldoze their way over the NRG Academy defense. It's gonna be the Blade Storm activated for Heode, as it is a bit of a save on NRG Academy's side. This time they're not gonna yield all that middle space, while SRB get a little bit more comfortable just outside of that B site. We'll be up against Renz and Ange though. They want to make it happen.
Okay, Renz is just gonna put himself in a one-and-done position. The Reckoning to push him to the edge. Ren's gonna match ult for ult, and maybe he's, almost got Exa, not gonna lie. It's 25 HP, but almost is not good enough. SRB really sealed in the site. Should be another day at the office, especially if you can maintain all the weapons going into the future. And if anything, SRB's weaker side has been the attack, because they started off 9-3 yesterday against Core on the defense. So this is already significant improvement for SRB. How much more confident they are after addressing those issues.
And as well, they're getting their ultimate economy starting to come online. One of the biggest things right now that they're going to have to deal with is on NRG Academy's side. Shondex does have the Viper's Pit available. Satellite just looking to get the run it back. Potentially on this next one. The timing works out perfectly. But yeah, Shondex going to die to that spike, so Satellite will stay alive. A flawless round coming out from SRB as they're starting to be comfortable. I know I was talking about Smoke being the one who had to come online. But when Smoke's not having a good day, good thing Satellite is ready to just step up into the driver's seat and start to pave the way forwards for Shopify Rebellion Black.
SRB are picking it up. This is great to see. Now, with the economy starting to settle, NRG are looking really broke. So much so, they're even investing into an op with not even full armor. Tell that Heode is having an even bigger impact, but this time playing further back, not needing to get into SRB's face this time. That op isn't going to get any visitors anytime soon.
Wondering whether or not the crunch from Shondex and Renz will happen here. They'd be walking right into Smoke and Xander in nature. That might be a little bit dangerous. And yeah, time to pop that pit. No information gained at all. We're just going to lock one of these signs down. Make sure that Renz is now able to have a bit more freedom, but looks like SRB might want to try and challenge this one. It's going to be interesting, though, if they decide to walk into that green pit.
And they got a Hunter's Fury, but they don't think they think that there's not a lot of space for this Viper to be safe. Immediate execution. The drone was just bait. And NRG Academy could not protect their Viper. The walls come crashing down. Once put up by SRB, as Smoke is not done yet. NRG Academy so sectioned from each other, and Giza has to keep the ball together, and I think he's 1-6. Like, he's also getting exploited over at A. SRB gonna throw the Cosmic Divide just for good measure, I guess, and that's enough to send NRG Academy on a save.
Hey, you know what? You were able to get the overdrive as well as that Viper's Pit out of NRG Academy's pocket. And yeah, when you look at, once again, how a lot of teams like to work this map, we're not exactly seeing the swamp comp back into the mix here, but it's all about those walls, all about controlling those spaces, and they do an expert job at flushing the Viper out and then overwhelming in onto the site, making sure there's almost no opportunity once that Cosmic Divide comes online. So NRG Academy simply intimidated. Try and make this one happen as Nature steps up, but will fall to Hayaday's sniper rifle. At least being able to reset the knives just a little bit more, as SRB now are able to take the lead.
Hayade is doing still a lot of good conditioning. First, he'll dash in your face before you even leave spawn, causing you to already drop 2 members, one of them being your duelist. Other times, he's opping at B. Other times, he's in your face at A. It's crazy how dynamic this duelist player is and how much adjustments SRB have had to do to still play their own game and keep that tempo up. Timeout now for NRG, and at a good moment of the game, especially you kind of want to ice out SRB in a moment like this.
And right now, like, the keys to success that I've noticed from NRG Academy were very similar to the original win conditions on Haven that we got to see, where it was NRG Academy taking those initial fights, right? When they take those initial fights, you get Hayday in there, find those first bloods, or you just be on some weird angles and are able to find a couple of kills as SRB are marching in onto the site. Then you just see SRB kind of collapse. But when SRB can really take their time, make sure they're grouped up, play the strategy that they want to play, once those walls get set up, it's so difficult for NRG Academy to try and flush them out. The big thing is going to be stopping them from planting the spike, because as soon as it goes down, SRB have done an excellent job at converting them.
At the pace that SRB want to play at, it's no surprise the Hunter's Fury has just not come out in so many rounds. I mean, this is absolute chaos. No one can see anything as Nature has to suppress NRG Academy from their bodyguard duties. Satellite reset off to run it back. SRB will maintain their position on the site and even have mid control to stop rotations from the opposite defenders. SRB so barely comfortable just based on numbers, but based on where NRG Academy are coming from, you're feeling pretty good about this win streak continuing.
The big question right now is that Ange versus Xander fight. Ange is aware of this, but Xander finds it. Okay, now this is going to be really tough for Hayday to try and clutch up.
You know, just keeping the op at this point, what he's supposed to do. Especially if Satellite can just run you down like it's no shot. And kind of nice contest, though, from NRG Academy, but I'm seeing more impact out of the ultimates from SRB. The way that run it back, even though it gets reset quickly, it makes space. Cosmic Divide earlier on was nice. Hunter's Fury, once everything was going crazy, that kind of pushed back NRG Academy. So I'm liking the choices and decisions out of SRB.
It really felt like SRB used their ultimates to be like, hey, scatter, make yourselves scarce on that site, split up, make it so that we've got such an easy time to try and make this one happen. The only remaining player after all of that was Hayday, inserted in onto the site. And while, yeah, there was a chance that Ange was going to come up massive yet again, if that fight won in favor of Ange, English hard sometimes, then I think there would have been a real good shot of them trying to make that one happen. But as soon as Xander finds that kill, and Xander once again has been exceptional today, then it all just starts to crumble on the side of NRG Academy. And now, let's see how they do it. It's going to be this weird, awkward buy on the side of NRG Academy. Well, Hayday does have that big old heavy sniper rifle in hand.
You can see me, but you can't do anything about it. Hayday just dashes out.
Oh, boy.
Nice to proc. Okay. He repeats that. Thought he had some assists there. Renzo at least get the op, had to use the speed to do so. And NRG Academy back into a position that they do not like. SRB very much in the driver's seat. Again, this is the side that SRB really suffered on yesterday. And over just 24 hours, this is just a completely different team.
All the meanwhile, too, Ren's at least able to scoop up that operator. So we'll be able to keep that one in play. Might be a little annoying, but I think it's all going to be trivial. Ange going to be tested here as SRB decide to take point.
Ange is hearing a lot of noises. He's scared. He's terrified. And Nexa is just the boogeyman. no escaping that. And I'm wondering how much, I mean, NRG Academy have only had 2 successful retakes. I think one of them on the pistol. That was decided on a 1v1. So I wonder if there's something preventative that NRG Academy can do besides have just Hayode dash in their face, because then he gets traded and then what? So yeah, just really suffer. Wow, so many headshots. So many headshots, and Smoke's got plot armor. That's crazy. So yeah, NRG Academy just haven't been able to retake at all once SRB get the plant on.
Looks like it's going to be the Brotherhood of the Traveling Operator as Sean Dex recovers that one off of Renz, and we'll carry this one forwards. At least the rest of the team should be able to buy up those rifles, but make an excellent point with how they want to utilize Hayday, right? I would imagine there's been a lot more support that's been generated to try and allow Hayday to be set up for those kills, but you always got to be ready for it when Hayday is going to try and take those opportunities. And Hayday just kind of peeks out there looking for a little bit more, but after that first whiff, especially now that Satellite is starting to really feel it, it all just kind of falls apart. Like, it's just an excellent job done to kind of counter that initial kill that once again is so pivotal for NRG to be able to convert these defending rounds against Shopify Rebellion Black here.
Really tough start for NRG, and they already used a timeout, right? So you kind of want to keep one for your attacking side. The solution has not been found. Hunter's Fury, though, from the defense, blindly and just punishing, kind of taking note of SRB's approach in mid, striking down one that was just still leaving spawn. And EXO was one away from the Reckoning, which could have been earned even this round, which could have been a win condition as Satellite in a familiar territory, but split from the flock as SRB hope to converge into A.
Keep in mind, EXO going down as well gets rid of that very crucial wall that SRB have been utilizing round after round. And now that Ange has also secured a little bit more of that information, this push is going to be difficult. It's going to be an all-out brawl if SRB want to take that site in the open.
Xander versus Shondex, an important duel to decide how many angles can SRB take around what's left of this defense. And Shondex gets the jump, secures the flank. Xander gone, and pillars remain from the NRG side. They know how committed SRB are. 33 seconds left. Not a lot of time to reconsider this, as not a single trade now has been earned from SRB until this moment. And at this point, there's more warm bodies on the NRG on the NRG side. SRB fully taking over this map. I mean, this is gonna be a 6-round win streak, and now that gets cut down to no win streak. NRG Academy finally stabilized.
Wait, Hayday got that kill there? That's kind of crazy. I thought for sure that was going to be Shondex, who was all up in his face with a rifle, and yet it's a wallbang from Hayday to close that one out. And NRG Academy just really doing a good job of icing things out on that round. You saw that the opening just falls apart with Exa going down. And if I'm being honest with you, I'm not a big fan of that very early Hunter's Fury without any information, but it finds the exact right target that it needs to, that being Exa. And like I said, it just became so much more difficult for Shopify Rebellion Black to try and engage onto that site. They lost a lot of that wall pressure that allows them to take their lanes, bisect the site, make it so much cleaner. And that's just simply off that Hunter's Fury from Gizo, who has better intuition than I do.
Yeah, big win for Shondex on the flank. Ange, very stable, very calm. And for once, NRG Academy have a successful retake off of big individual moments. We'll see how SRB do.
Ultimate ready.
The Reckoning will help smooth things along as Satellite will guide, or not Satellite, Xander will guide them towards B potentially.
I'm so nervous about Hayday's position here. He's going to be good for at least one, but at least SRB did their homework. They're prepared for that potential operator, and they make sure that they keep that thing far away and smoked off as possible. A great just read from SRB to guarantee a lot of that space. And look, NRG Academy, they think that this is going to this A site. A lot of pressure onto B, but Hayday, this kill could be huge.
Hayode does not get to escape, and that's how you deal with an op. You overwhelm it, you suffocate it, and Hayode can only go 1 for 1. That's why his KDA looks the way that it does, and it's not a
30
20
seconds
bomb
left.
like he usually does in a Swiss match. It's a whole new ball game. The Juggernauts have arrived. SRB hoping to maintain the lead that they have. Now chaos created, isolations, NRG Academy trying to find each other amidst all the smokes, running headfirst into each other and their opponents. 7 seconds left, the spike has been dropped. Satellite, he has to plant and then go for the ace. He's gonna do so with the run it back. The last one left, Ange coming in from B. Surely you know it's either back spawn or from mid. Going to scout is Xander. Hoping to set up Satellite, who even with the run it back has not made any moves to take space. Flash out, Xander steals the ace, but SRB just maintain the lead.
Last round in the half.
That is unbelievable, but it's just such a fun round to watch how the engagement happens and how they just kind of overpower things. I mean, it was just a bit of a mind game being played by SRB, and it's all thanks to Satellite. It gets a little bit scrappy in the end there, but it's just an overpowering that goes through. Satellite up to 16 kills now. The next highest in the entire lobby is Heyday, only sitting at 9. Satellite has been having a map and a half, which is very refreshing to see given the performance previous on Haven. And Exa, all right, that's cool, I guess. That's all right. Cool. Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
What the hell just happened? Well, NRG Academy lost the staring contest, I guess. And look at where their economy is at, too. It's so cooked. It's almost like you want to say it before the round even started. Like, you do not want to lose this Heyday op. Hopefully,
Yeah, but it's
Renz
the
can
last round
recover
and a
it.
half.
Oh, yeah, true. This whole half has gone by so fast. You're right. So I guess fight or die, NRG Academy. Here's the approach from Heyday. Outluck better than the op. A flawless round potentially on the cards. It's crazy.
Oh boy, Renz gonna try and make this one work, but all cards right now lining up for SRB. Just divine intervention, it felt like, coming through to really secure things. The plant gonna happen now, as it's gonna be this 2v5 scenario. As this is going to be tough for Renz and Shondex, with Shondex only with the Guardian in hand. Try to make this a bit closer, but now, hey Renz, go crazy.
Hey Renz. Bye Renz? Bye Renz. I said it with a question mark. 8-4 for SRB. And something about this team, they're allergic to pistols, but not allergic to winning. And if SRB can get their first pistol here, this game is feeling pretty over.
I remember there was like an interview a little while ago with Nature just being like, oh yeah, our pistols, that's probably our weakest point. And I feel like that is coming to fruition, really demonstrating it for the class right now against NRG Academy. But this is Shopify Rebellion Black's stronger side, that being the defense. I was really enjoying the way that we were seeing Satellite kind of wreck things open. The good utilization of the different walls available, given Exa, given Satellite, given Xander. It was great for that attack, but it makes an even better defense here when you're able to cut off so many sight lines, especially as your opponent tries to get their attack underway. Let's see what NRG Academy have cooked up to try and break through all of this controller utility to try and turn this one back around and potentially close out this series on this map.
An 8-4 half for SRB just yesterday. I don't think they have too much to patch up when it comes to their approach here, besides, well, you're facing a very different team. NRG Academy, though, they like that speed. Faced a neon composition, I believe, yesterday, and it doesn't matter what you face because smoke will kill everything in his sight. But hey, with the real hit, it's gonna happen. The commitment is towards B. The wall from the harbor comes up and it sections NRG Academy, but does not stop them. As they approach towards the back of the site, Nature has found a very important pillar to hide behind. He plays a deadly game of Ring Around the Rosie. Heyday has a good read as he watches his back, but no one is watching Heyday's back anymore. And it ends in SRB's way. Their first pistol of the series.
All right, Jen, you called it. Let's see how this goes. They finally win their pistol. And honestly, I really like the play that Nature made there. I mean, obviously, we can talk about a lot macro, the engagement, and how Xander puts down this one way to just stall for time. But Nature, after finding that first pick and not able to secure the second, immediately just backs off, right? Just plays life. allows his presence alone on the site to be the threat to allow the additional time for Shopify Rebellion Black to get themselves all organized and ready to retake. So great job coming out from the leader of Shopify Rebellion Black. It's gonna be a rundown here on this A site. Let's see how they do when Nex is down.
Okay, Smoke hesitated. Like, he's good with these Marshall one-shots, and as soon as he disengaged, the whole house of cards came tumbling down. At least Nature will get 2 with the Sheriff, and somehow SRB found a breath in their lungs after they look like they got kicked in the teeth from the NRGA Academy hype train came in.
Spike planted.
Very low HP, though, is Hayode and Renz. Power of friendship will not go well for them, it seems. Here's the Xander emerges, and Xander ends it.
So what I'm hearing is we need to do some friendship building exercises on the side of NRGA Academy after this
bonding,
one. Huh? Yeah. I mean, Hayday was their newest addition, so that kind of tracks. But I mean, I like the plan coming through from NRGA Academy with how they wanted to just run in onto the site. Exactly like you said, just kind of overwhelming things. I mean, what are you supposed to do if you're smoking? You see 3 people hopping in between the 2 pyramids, which just right-clicking you into the ground. And thankfully, Nature in the back line, just the Sheriff in hand, is able to find a couple of kills and make sure that this is such a win condition for them. So Nature being a huge part of those opening 2 defensive rounds for Shopify Rebellion Black. A good bonus being brought into this next one. Let's see how they contest against this fast and rambunctious style of NRGA Academy with full rifles.
Nex is hiding in the smoke with a judge. If NRGA Academy choose the wrong site, this could be a bloodbath. And maybe this 10-4 scoreline scares SRB a bit, because this was the comeback point for Core yesterday. SRB, it's about closing out these rounds cleanly. They know they have the potential to do so. Hayode being tested, Exa staying calm. He has one job, not to fluster. He's being watched like a hawk. See how much damage this judge can do. The drone is about to mark him, though, and I'd hope that satellite takes it down. This judge is still hidden. Oh, but the neon wall, they stop him. His exit now has to use his ears instead of his eyes, and man, he is as stoic as ever. The amount of util that has sailed away across this harbor, and he has not moved an inch. Now NRGA Academy reconsidered exchange. Smoke is down. So is Renz. Equal encounter. Judge. And Hayode. Oh, he was suspicious. He was so suspicious about that. No judge. No fun. SRB. No chance. Question mark. They got 2 bulldogs. They have satellite. Huge ace up their sleeve. The clear carry of this SRB squad.
10 seconds left.
And he sits at the back of the site, smoked off. Shondex is clearing Nature as he was unable to escape, find safety.
Remaining.
Xander coming through mid. He's been marked yet again on his trajectory. We'll see how readable satellite is, but I don't think you need a script to be given to you to know that a 1v4 is just simply unachievable.
Yeah, satellite going for that save now. He's able to scoop up a rifle. Will walk out nice and easy, but man, my heart breaks. Specifically for Exa there. I mean, the entire time. Exactly like you said. Such good protocols coming out as well. Satellite just kind of playing that spoil to any utility that could have flushed him out. But then the second Satellite turns away, uh-oh. Just like that. Shondex finds a kill on a Satellite, but that's how Exa got taken down as well. It's just that split-second difference that allows NRG to be able to stabilize themselves. And Jen, I'm hoping you didn't curse things now, because you brought up that curse to scoreline, and NRGA Academy, lo and behold, will find their first round on this half.
Yeah, that's my bad. But something about Hayode's reads, man, like obviously I'm not in the comms to know how they were able to know Exa was there, but he has a sixth sense even yesterday. He just always knew when there was a flank, when there were these inserts. His reads on the map are so insane. And right through Renz, Hayode will now have to step up, and his dash is kind of a fake there, and he adjusts, he crouches, and gets Nature on his back. Yet again exploited, as the site has been weakened to its knees. Equal numbers, though. Now as the smokes dissipate, NRG Academy navigate, and Satellite looks for the right timing and is able to pierce through. Smoke combines with them. They've really shaken the NRG Academy core as SRB back on their high horse. But NRG Academy are not done yet. 2v4, not gonna happen.
Holy, what an alley-oop between the two duelists on the side of Shopify Rebellion Black. No curses now. Potentially, I hope I just didn't curse it. Oh man, there's so much power we have on the mic right now, but just an excellent read from NRG Academy to try and ice Smoke out. They know that that operator is the biggest win condition on the Shopify Rebellion defense, right? And so they tactically place the smokes. Similar ethos, you know, you want to make sure you're icing things out, split up the site, make it a lot more difficult. But all the while, Satellite was just hanging out in the back there. And then you see the timing is perfect that Satellite and Smoke decide to play off of one another and just isolate and find the kills that they need to. SRB now 2 more rounds, be able to get map number 3, and Satellite is getting aggressive.
This is crazy. This is next level. Hello. No reaction, no trade, Ange. See ya. It just does not care. Satellite getting wrapped around. Ange just gonna be patient, but someone needs to kill Satellite. Jesus, I mean, he was quadruple positive for a reason, and Exa is going sicko mode. SRB, the finish line at arm's reach to force a map 3 Lotus decider, and Exa gets the job done.
All right, it's basically just like Satellite and Friend win the defensive round. Last time it was Smoke, this time it was Exa. Who's up next to the plate? As Satellite still is leading this map with 21 kills. So hyper aggressive right off the bat, but I love the way that Shopify Rebellion make sure that they set things up to be able to support that aggressive play and then have Exa to be the foil just in case NRG Academy get a couple of funny ideas and think that they can overwhelm their Phoenix. SRB, they are really running away with this map. We see both of the duelist ultimates online now for that other side, and a very weak buy for NRG Academy.
Oh my god, you made NRG Academy angry. Renz shows up when you need him to the most. Nature has fallen. Nature is no longer healing. As the harbor will take shelter, emerges from the smoke. Oh, the flash kind of hinders Exa, but the reckoning bulldozes NRG Academy, matching speed for speed, violence on SRB's side to get the revenge on Breeze to send us into Lotus.
What a play coming out from Shopify Rebellion.
Thank you, Sierra. It's a fight to be in the big 3. It is do or die, and Shopify Rebellion Black looked really convincing on Breeze. But if there's something I can describe NRG Academy as, Marks, it's definitely resilient after what we saw on Haven.
Absolutely, and taking a look at how this whole map is being put together and the different compositions that both of these teams are bringing out here, I mean, they're leaning into their comfortability on both sides. I tend to be a little bit more familiar with SRB just because I've seen a lot more of their games lately, but Smoke specifically on that chamber is killer. Especially on that defense is going to be so powerful for them. On the offense, does a really good job lurking as well, but NRG Academy, they're bringing the firepower into this one, and already we're getting treated to potentially that trade of util as NRG are running it down.
Jesus, NRG Academy, it's like SRB owe them money or something. They barely have left spawn. And they get nothing out of it, not able to take anything from their pockets. The smokes reestablish, thankfully for that. Both these teams played this map yesterday, 13-11 though, just for NRG Academy. SRB more convincing, but all that matters is who will end this series. Finally, SRB break out of their cage. The Haunt Marks 1 in rubble. Ange is gonna need someone to bail him out. NRG Academy will synchronize and go toe-to-toe against SRB. Unfortunately for them, the numbers favored SRB's death ball as they advance through. There is a lurk too on Exa going towards B, and now I think that confirms the plan.
Yeah, and look at that. He's down now to 15 HP.
Spike planted.
Not exactly the agent you want to try and make this one happen, but on the flip side, Smoke at 28 will just be one shot, but it's going to be tough for Giza to try and make this one work, especially going up against the veterans Smoke and Xander on this map.
Just the wrap around the knowledge there of Xander finding that last player. SRB looked really convincing how they're able to absorb that aggression that NRG Academy, like, smoke them through everything at them. SRB took a step back, reassessed, fought back, and won. It's really, I got to give a lot of credit to SRB of how they countered NRG's game there.
It all came down to really just nature. Being able to flush things out with that Prowler, got the information, gave that little bit of space to allow SRB to re-engage and have an honest shot at winning out the barnyard brawl outside of A that we're all so familiar with. This time around, to be challenging Giza, nature, quick to it, and all that Vise utility that can do a great job at locking out the site, well, simply is not going to find any value on this round.
So what a flick, though, from Nature, because he took a pretty nasty headshot, bringing him to half health. NRG Academy tried to surprise them, but SRB could tell how locked in they are. For now, they'll plant and sit back as the ball is in NRG Academy's court. Not seeming like they could do much unless they wanted to Prowler and haunt in or something. Ange not making any moves. The smoke will be established, and I'm thinking NRG Academy don't want to give any orbs over, so they're just gonna wait. And I don't know if SRB are gonna let him. Satellite is on the approach, and he goes for one, the two, and not the third. But hey, he is farming up one away from the showstopper.
I was gonna say, given the fact as well, you send him in there. We got the pistol in hand. Yeah, okay, we'll take the rest of the big heavy weapons into the next round. You go have fun over there, and then boop. 2 kills with the sheriff, and then dying as well. And the showstopper being available so early on could really help establish a lot of that momentum. If Satellite's able to find one more kill, or they go for that ultimate orb outside of C, then that can happen. And I wonder how NRG Academy are going to try and keep that one at bay, because that could really force the door open here on SRB's bonus round and make it so that they get that 3-round spree. And yeah, it looks like NRG Academy will be challenging that ultimate orb on C just in case they get to see Satellite do something with it.
Just NRG conditioning SRB to just be on the lookout when just trying to take a rubble could cost SRB some important resources, allowing NRG Academy to reinforce their A site. They got the Vise wall, they got Thorns, they have all their bases covered. As Smoke, he's on the chamber. You have to justify this Sentinel pick because Smoke looks for picks. That's exactly what he does. He floors Hayode. And the Prowler, SRB, making progress. And trying to escape, dodges a nade, dodges Prowlers. SRB really running out of util here for an actual take.
Look at that. Showstopper now available online. This doesn't necessarily work exactly how Ange wants to play the game. Ange does not want to be the front line there. So we'll just back off into the site, get a little bit more support. Well, SRB, they've got full reign of the map. And yeah, here comes that showstopper.
Ooh, anybody home? Ren's just quivering at this moment. Couldn't trade. Damage done to Satellite, but not enough. And the door unbroken. This is a difficult decision for Giza, as I think it's just going to be a thing of timing, I should say, of Shondex. He smoked off the angle. Super awkward for NRG Academy.
They're saving.
It's giving save, yeah. Like I guess they don't want to retake.
Yeah, there's just so much pressure, and they just decide to wave the flag. And honestly, I think that's the right call, because you look at how SRB are set up onto the site. Sure, they have a little bit of weaker weaponry, but you know they picked up 2 rifles now, and you know they're more than happy to play that close range battle. So just that original kind of flop that we saw happen with, well, Smoke being able to find a clean headshot onto Hayade, who we've continuously highlighted being so good on those first bloods. Not able to make that happen last time for NRG Academy, and thus it's going to be a weird buy for NRG. 4 rifles on the board and 1 single pistol, while Shopify Rebellion Black will have more than enough to carry themselves, financially speaking, across the finish line to make this one yet another competitive round.
It's only 4 deaths in 3 rounds on the SRB side. Like the pick, I mean, obviously the save helps with that, but the pick potential is certainly there for Smoke. Now he's got the Outlaw. Still got some shields you got to try and pierce through. but Smoke's gonna have some assistance. Now a lot is gonna be pressuring them out, able to teleport out, and kind of leave NRG Academy hanging. SRB are not making too much progress towards C until now. Satcheling in, Smoke will be left in the dust. It's NRG Academy hoping to greet them. They got that Vise Flash ready to fight. Shondex waits for the call. Satellite is being allowed to slow walk through the site, and NRG Academy caught yapping about the game plan and never got to execute.
Satellite basically playing Raze like Phoenix again. Just walking up forwards, confidence brimming. Walks out and challenges Renz as well. NRG Academy 3v4 onto this retake now.
NRG Academy looking like the confidence is just absolutely dwindling. What a double two from Exa. One penetrating through the wall. This is a very confident looking SRB. As NRG had just saved the previous round, they gave up a 3v5 retake to save for that very round. And it didn't look too structured in this case.
That's criminal.
This shouldn't have happened right here.
Like, you see as well the intention. As soon as that first pick happens, someone walks out from Waterfall's smoke, tries to find that kill. Oh, no, who saw this one coming? Satellite did, actually, and just finds that kill nice and easy. Already up to 7 kills. Use the showstopper. Already 3 more ultimate orbs snatched up. A Shopify Rebellion Black, if you had to ask me what they prefer to play on Lotus, I would tell you defense. This is a very strong start for Shopify Rebellion Black, and I think NRG Academy recognize that, as they are going to take that time out now. They have some tools to work with, given that showstopper, and at least Shondex does have a rifle in hand. But so far, this is looking pretty lights out for SRB.
And NRG Academy, this timeout, I like that they take it early. Obviously, there are many fires to address, but one of them has been, how do we note the tendencies of Smoke, which has been very right side leaning so far, usually alone. This time he had Exa. Hayode still pressed the issue. You went, I think, all the way into a lobby to kill Smoke, but at what point are you how much does that kill really net you when you're not wrapping around through spawn? Now there's numbers that SRB can call out in terms of Smoke sacrifices himself to bait, and this opened up the opposite side of the map. So NRG Academy settling into this map 3, high stakes, high pressure. Hayode's in position for a showstopper, at the very least a classic that could do damage close range.
Look at that, Smoke still poking and prodding, making his presence being known. Only has an outlaw, but will be deadly across the board for NRG Academy. As Ange is the only one who's got that stinger in hand. It's a lot more quiet at the start of these rounds. That just means that SRB have more utility to pop with, especially with their rifle advantage here.
Could be dangerous for SRB to have a B post plan, considering NRG, they can hold their angles as sheriffs. They can be just as deadly. Shondex gonna be tested. One headshot. Oh, nature with a drive-by of all time. And still solid for SRB across the board. Hayode not able to find opportunity for a showstopper. If you really wanted to somehow turn the tides, as it doesn't even end up being a B plant. You're just gonna find more safety at this site after all. And Ange maybe could explore B to get an upgrade on this gun, and Nexa has already got his number. Ange will try to win that, but hey, guess what? Exa's not alone. Ooh. And Ange does not care if you're alone. He needs to reload, and Exa ends it.
Exa kind of getting a smile out there, like, oh, my bad, Smoke. Yeah, we thought we had it together. Could have walked away with that one scot-free, but not going to be the case, and just good passing coming out from SRB. You know, they go onto that B site, and exactly like you said, it's a little bit claustrophobic. And so they're like, actually, we're going to take our talents to C, and just decide to just bulldoze their way through Waterfall and completely cut off some of these angles that they were really not expecting. You see the rush come through. Shondex gets a very nice kill here as Nature, like you said, does that whole drive-by, and then it's nice, easy, clean, set up onto C, and have a little bit of support on B just in case. This time it's going to be good old classic fight just outside here as Ange takes this forward positioning, but the smokes will keep everybody hidden.
Speaking of Smoke, he has an attacking op. He sits on his perch. Exa with a snake bite, but ideally you're worried about who has control of rubble. As another smoke goes down, it almost elapses as it could have got the kneecap of Exa in that moment. The smoke won't last forever though. Smoke is not looking towards rubble at all. Will adjust to react, and just up against quite a force of nature there. He still peeks before the smoke fully dropped just to set up the showstopper. It splashes and only does damage, no kills. SRB walk it all the way back, but smiling ear to ear from how that engagement ended up going.
Xander got a little bit of oopsies with the kneecaps there jumping off the top, but it's all good because, yeah, you find the kill onto Ange and you get the showstopper out and nobody dies. That's got to be a dub.
Nightfall right onto Giza's parade. Delays being created. Plan B. From A to C to B. Here we go. SRB working the map, but man, NRG able to converge when it matters the most. 10 seconds left, 2v2. See if this plant will go off. Shondex on the approach, already spotted there from nature.
Ooh.
SRB going to split up in this moment. Maybe a wraparound for Exa. I mean, he can't really face the music head on, not at 6 HP, so nature can delay a little bit. Keep eyes on the spike. Knows that Shondex is in main. Giza just heard. Now they don't have information on both players within the site. Exa has the reload, and Giza stops nature from flourishing. Fuse halfway, double swing, and finally NRG are on the board.
Oh man, these player cams are killing me, man. Just watching Exa miss that and then lose the round and just fly out of his chair backwards. It was a Shakespearean tragedy being written out on the screen there. Just unfortunately whiffs it and then runs out of bullets in what was one of the best wraparounds that you can tell NRG Academy just had no idea what was going on. As a result of that, NRG Academy will finally get a round on the board. Something that we haven't seen just quite yet, as SRB have been fairly dominant. It's going to be the round, though, that Smoke will pull out the big old sniper rifle, the 2 of the force. Make sure that that pressure is going to be on, while Hit8 on the other side will have that defensive op.
Don't get to see Smoke play this side of the map too much. Kind of this 4-1 split is something NRG Academy are starting to get to know. Hit8 is going to be a breakable door with the op, so once Shondex calls for the wall drop, this could be all hell letting loose, as SRB will get first blood and they get into tree, so no moment for Hit8 to have an impact with this op until SRB gets set up for the plant. Now it's taken too much time for SRB to progress. They activate the door yet again to create a fake opportunity. NRG Academy left having to explore the boom bot, getting some information there for Hit8 that potentially SRB have disengaged from tree, as maybe Shondex has to go and see for himself, but doesn't want to take that risk, even with Renz in the wings.
All the meanwhile, look at Smoke's position. So good at least securing some of that information, and we'll gain that kind of clean pathway forwards towards that B site. But still, SRB have not committed to any of these sites. 30 seconds left on the board, but Smoke finding an opening kill. Yeah, we're planting B.
And you killed the goat with the op too. SRB were playing mind games with Xander, opening the door non-stop at A. Kept the defenders entrenched on the right side of the map. And SRB, though, they are meeting some resistance. Going after those A defenders, extending out, not letting NRG Academy regroup may just be helps SRB win in the end. Using this wall to reposition and access on the ultimate wraparound yet again, like the map control that SRB can take at whim. See if NRG Academy can take advantage, or just another big save from NRG Academy.
Like they just didn't feel like they had any chance of getting in onto it. And I don't know if it's like a confidence thing, but I would make the argument that they should have just enough utility to try and make that one work, given the fact that they've got the haunt. But Nature now going to be flying through, is at least able to drop one. Shondex staying alive though. Whoa, okay. That's 3 kills, so that's going to be the pit online. Nice and easy. But NRG Academy still really lacking when it comes to these rounds. And you can just tell the difference that SRB feel like they have when it comes to these engagements and how they're just running things. Smoke being able to find such an important opening kill, all the while they're making all the distraction on that A site, exactly like you said, Xander, continuously spamming the door. There's just so many questions that NRG Academy are asking. And the question I'm asking right now is something the desk also brought up, and it's the impact that Giza is having on this Vise. If I'm being honest with you, I'm not really seeing a lot of that Vise utility get the value that we were expecting. You expect the Sheer to be able to block people out, you know, make things a little bit more difficult. The Razors to slow them down when they're engaging in onto the site. And the only time I've really seen that utility get utilized is when Giza's under a little bit of a pressure, but it's SRB just pump faking it before they decide to go onto another site.
And that's the thing. I think you're exactly right. SRB, they're faking so much around the map to just stretch NRG Academy thin that any cool util that this defense could have is used to no avail. And even when Giza had moments of a good delay as either a solo defender at C, they didn't really play off of his thorns or his flashes. They didn't swing into it. It was just to pray to God that SRB were not actually going to commit. And you're letting SRB play their game, but hey, that's a good hit. Some damage. Tiny bit of damage, I guess. Really, the psychological damage is 3 pistols on NRG Academy. It's an uphill battle.
Yeah, and all the while, too, keep in mind, NRG Academy have quite a few ultimates online to work off of. Giza, though, so far ahead of the util now, is going to get isolated here, but just enough to slow down. Yeah, Satellite will find that kill, and once again, questions being asked about the utility usage of that Vise. And on the other side, like Smoke on that Chamber is finding plenty of value by finding kills, because that's what Chamber's kit is built around.
I would have liked that whatever Giza was trying to cook on Mound, it's usually an Ange play, because at least he can teleport out. Giza doesn't have a get out card unless he maybe opens the ceiling door or something, but both timeouts from NRG Academy were used within 4 rounds, by the way. So this is, the fire extinguishers are out. This was also 3 pistols in this round. There's been 2 rounds now. I think NRG Academy had 3 players save their rifles, and you're just trying to stem the bleeding. Not gonna let this be flawless for SRB, but any weapons, I don't know if those X's are weapons that Renz could go for, but he seems really uninterested in giving any more ults to SRB.
Yeah. That's the thing, right? Like, you know they've got X's Pit online. You know Satellite's got the Showstopper. The only one that could be of concern is Nature. You don't expect Smoke to go for that one anytime soon, just given the fact that the economy is nice and healthy. But yeah, wow. I mean, it's just lights out from SRB yet again. Everyone lining up. Nature going to be the one to try and get that kill, to get the Nightfall online. Will do just that. Now 2 ultimate orbs away from having yet another ultimate. And man, like, NRG Academy, yeah, they got to start to figure out something here fast. I genuinely don't think that they're doing a good job of utilizing the tools that they're given. This kit feels like it's more built to deal with that pre-aggression of that Waylay Neon combo that we saw so often here on Lotus. Meanwhile, on the other side, like, these are players who are more than happy with taking long-range duels without trying to take the fight into you, and you can see NRG looking for those opportunities to try and get the surprise there. It just doesn't seem like they're getting it very often.
SRB have been on a roll ever since Breeze. An explosive start to this round. Satellite makes his name known, and NRG Academy are behind. And 2 players with Vandals with barely any money in their pockets. And you're just hoping and praying the suffering will be over soon when it comes to this half, and then you're gonna let Smoke be on defense with the Chamber. It doesn't get any better. And Nature, he gets loud. This team is hyped up. What's most important is that SRB, you know, keep the pedal to the metal, but don't turn it into a car crash. Like, you still have to be locked in, and don't get too excited, because that's how kind of Breeze fell apart for them against Core yesterday. They got so hype, and kind of unnecessary mistakes started to happen. But hey, ever since then, that is not something that they've allowed happen ever again.
Man, SRB hurt you yesterday with that map scoreline.
I had to cast that car crash. Okay, that was psychological psychological damage to me. I'm just excited they won, but don't do that to me again, okay? I swear to God.
Oh, man. Yeah, and Smoke, yet again, is able to find another kill onto Renz. And one thing I wanted to mention is that last round, with how fast it went onto that A site, they got Sean Dex's Viper's Pit out. Sean Dex used it right off the bat, assuming it was going to be a C hit. Nope, they actually hit A. And so that ultimate just, poof, gone. Never even existed. And it's yet another round where NRG Academy have all this utility, but it doesn't get utilized just because SRB play it a little bit smarter. And so, now, SRB look like they should continue to control this, and it's an excellent little peek there when teleport, just to try and scope things out, but Giza this time hanging back.
And the Thorns, the delay, and Giza's still hanging around just to get to know. Actually, you got C, so my bad, he can't get out. So SRB, I mean, fantastic util from nature across the board. Whether he's on Sky, he's on Fade, he's enabling this team and forcing errors and forcing NRG to be in submission. Picks from Smoke untraded. He teleports out. NRG Academy tried to chase him down to no avail. And Giza's caught in the midst of the tendrils. Was SRB are very forward as well. Moment for Ange with the stinger. Paranoia out. Quick shots from SRB through the blind, though. Ange won't let this be perfect. But Satellite will let him know he's boss.
Man, I also love when Satellite gets amped up, especially with a lot of these skills. I'm so curious who his teammate is beside him, because he's going for those high fives like no tomorrow. Like, he is slamming his friend's hand, and it's always just like a reverberation. You can see it through the player cam, through his shoulder. As yeah, once again, this is just good execution coming through from Shopify Rebellion Black. I think that C site has continued to remain a sore point for NRG Academy. Generally speaking, when we see SRB attack it, you know, Giza's on his own, and he's not really getting some support, and he's kind of just up against everyone.
Okay, so Satellite is W keying into them. This is the type of thing that SRB starts doing when they win too hard, okay? Just, all right, well, if Smoke just hits shots like that, he's on the top of the rock. I thought Hayode could have done. Xander is way far forward. What did he ult there? What a crazy round this was. SRB is getting away with murder, shenanigans, turning Valorant into comedy, but NRG are not laughing. The Smoke, a moment for Sean Dex to emerge, to be the hero, to get NRG Academy just one round. Just one round, bro.
Plant gonna go down now. Smoke, though, just has such good intuition, and yeah, finds that first kill.
All right, we're just, yeah, some good fodder for Smoke. He's a hungry, hungry man. 10-1, one round left in the half. Silver lining is that it's almost over. The half.
Okay. Important.
You know, it all the chessboard gets reset in the next half. 10-2 can sometimes be very cursed for SRB. We've seen crazier things. So let NRG cook. I'm more worried about the mentals right now for NRG. It's tough.
Oh, Smoke through to force as well. Yep, finds that first kill. Has a rifle in hand just in case things got a little bit hairy, but we'll be doing just that, and SRB make their way over. They're not even breaking a sweat at this point with just how confident they've been playing this map. And I don't know, NRG Academy, Giza, tested yet again. He's going to be trapped in all the util and immediately taken out, not even given an opportunity to breathe.
There's nothing more to say about that. Yeah. Giza and Sean Dex have constantly been within the site, not able to play for retakes. You got the pit, a deep boom bot into Waterfall, not marking Renz quite yet. Prowler and tools available for NRG Academy, but they kind of need a nuclear bomb to take out the fortress that is a Viper's Pit with all 5 shooters of SRB. Renz and Ange will still work together. Paranoia being thrown out as soon as it does. It really just revealed the hands of NRG Academy, cut off swiftly by SRB.
Switching sides.
Man, that was such a funny round. I was watching Exa because Exa's had that pit the entire half, and you could tell that it was like all right, let's use it when we need it, right? Let's not throw away our utility, throw away our ultimates. Viper Spit, such a strong ultimate. Let's make sure we use it properly. It doesn't get utilized until the very last round of the half, and it almost feels pedantic at that point, given the fact that there were only 2 people that were going to push into them. That's how much dominance Shopify Rebellion Black ended that half with. And now we go into their defensive half. NRG Academy, backs against the wall. As a reminder, this is for elimination now. They have to make a miracle happen, as SRB only need 2 rounds to guarantee that they will at least be moving forwards into the top 3.
And there's no timeouts. There is no calming down this storm. And this is not the way you wanted to see NRG Academy go out. But Heyo Day will go out with a fight, I guess. And Exa just lining up all the pins. Beautiful shots. An important pistol. As important as ever for NRG Academy. And the job's not done, as SRB always have Exa. He is smoked off. Boombot marking
goodness.
Shondex, just shot in the back and unable to progress. The game plan is being undone. This NRG Academy only have Ange against 3. Match point, series point for SRB. Top 3 on the line.
Match point.
Oh boy, yeah, this is why I said I think Shopify Rebellion Black, specifically on Lotus, they look better on their defense. I talked about the threat that Smoke is, especially with the Chamber just kind of anchoring down a lot of those long sight lines, especially when he's fragging out the way that he is. But another player who you have to keep an eye on is Exa, specifically on this defense on Lotus, comes alive, can anchor down a site like no other player I have seen in VCL. And now, 1 more round stands between them and top 3. As NRG Academy, it's not looking good for them.
Can't even force. I mean, it's just Sheriffs, NRG Academy, quiet, silenced. So is Nature, apparently. Sheriffs are impactful on the NRG Academy side. They've fought through hell and back just to be here. All 3 maps yesterday, 13 to 10 or 13 to 11. NRG Academy in overtime started off the series so well. Giza will show up, be shown out, as SRB, they have the retake, they have the weapons, both angles being watched. Renz will be locking in through the staircase, will reunite with Renz, and it all comes crashing down. SRB to the lower finals and in the big 3.
A big congratulations to Shopify Rebellion Black. What a scoreline to close it out against NRG Academy. 13 to 1